A GDPR Reprieve, hackers exploiting the most vulnerable, a European tracking app, and more. Hello, I'm Sash, and I'm thrilled that you're joining me here on another fresh Security Weekly. Let's take a look at what's new this week in tech and security from around the world. GDPR has been hailed as a global standard, a successful step into ensuring data protection and privacy. There have been several publicized breaches in the past year, including Cathay Pacific, Equifax, and Facebook. Some of these fines were quite steep. The largest fines have been recent, and they number in the multi-million-dollar category. Both British Airways and Marriott International have been issued penalties for their lacking security measures by the UK's Information Commissioner's Office under GDPR. The fines of $183 million and $99 million are the largest to date, but it seems both companies have been granted a reprieve at least until the end of 2020. It seems that the current COVID-19 pandemic could have impacted the regulator's decision to postpone, as the companies are already suffering immense losses due to the pandemic and represent two industries that have been hit especially hard in the past month. Paying the penalty now could result in layoffs, which would exacerbate an already fragile world economy. Yet we must ask how this will impact GDPR enforcement and penalties in the long term. Last week, we reported that cyberattacks had increased across the world during the pandemic, and sadly, this week has shown no decrease in this malicious activity. One particular gut-wrenching incident took place in Italy, where the online service of the Italian Department of Social Security and Welfare was forced to go offline for a few days due to an attack which blocked its access to users. The agency has become a lifeline now more than ever and was sorting over 400,000 applications for the €600 benefits for VAT-registered and self-employed Italians. Though it is still unclear who was behind this attack, the Italian government is now running a full-scale probe into the matter. Due to the already fraught global situation, it is a matter of both urgency and delicacy to ascertain the culprits. Experts point that it could have been the work of a cyber gang or even a state-sponsored attack. The one thing is certain, the government will have yet another challenge to deal with amid the heavy burden of the COVID-19 crisis. As governments and health authorities work round the clock to deliver ways to contain and defeat the COVID-19 virus, one tool is to use tracking apps and smartphones to assist in those efforts. But there's little unity in what is the best approach. In an attempt to stem the divergence in Europe and safeguard data privacy, the EU's data watchdog has proposed the bloc establish its own pan-European COVID-19 mobile application. As many member states are in the process or have already developed mobile apps, which involve the processing of personal data in very different ways. Up until now, many countries across the world have largely made a very domestic attempt of securing their citizens with varying approaches to monitoring. Some efforts by nations such as Singapore and Austria and China have both been widely praised and criticized, though a unified approach on a European level would certainly help. But it would require a coordinated effort, of which there is a definite deficit at the moment of international cooperation. When there's a crisis, it often pushes people to attribute fault and point the finger. Sadly, fear and anxiety have combined into a very dangerous situation in the UK this past week. A conspiracy theory that purports to link 5G radio masts to spreading the coronavirus has led to several radio towers being vandalized and even torched around England. Since the beginning of April, there have been over 30 acts of vandalism directed at mobile hardware in the UK. There are also reports of telecom workers and engineers being harassed and abused. One serious incident took place in Birmingham, which resulted in a BT tower being torched, which provided both 2G and 3G services to thousands of people. Government, as well as health authorities, have denounced the conspiracy claims and have pointed out that the connectivity of all telecoms is vital to the health services as well as ordinary citizens at this time in fighting and enduring this pandemic. And that's a wrap, folks, for this week's episode. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you keep healthy, stay home, and continue to be safe. We'll see you next time. Take care. Bye.